This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
You are listening to the List Building Lifestyle Show. Welcome back, boys and girls, children of all ages. Here is your host, Mr. Igor K-Fetz.
What is up? I'm just kidding. No, that's not how I would greet a lot of kids. That wouldn't be wrong. I would say, hey kiddos, are you ready for another taste of the list building lifestyle?
Oh, that's a new tagline there. I like that. That's very sexy.
Yeah, that's right.
You've been practicing, haven't you?
Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Every morning in the shower and then in front of the mirror while brushing my teeth. That's my routine these days.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, you know what? It's paying off for you, Sonny. It's paying off. You sound great.
Practice makes perfect.
Igor, so what do you have for us today?
Well, Jonathan, one of the most common questions I've been getting recently is like, Igor, how do I get started? That seems to be the number one problem for people. The overwhelm that comes from not having a clear idea of what's the first thing you need to do when you want to use solo ads to grow your business. And I understand that because recently I've been working on the most comprehensive guide to solo ads marketing ever created. It's in production right now. And I'm sort of teasing you about it right now because when it comes out, I'm going to be basically shouting from the top of my lungs to advertise it everywhere. And working on this guide, I wrote over 30,000 words about solo ads. 30,000 words, which means I wrote a freaking book trying to explain how to successfully and profitably use solo ads to run, grow, and scale your business. And while writing that guide, I spoke to a lot of my clients and I asked them questions. I tried to understand what stifles them the most, what kind of problems they were facing. And the number one answer that I always got to the question of what do I need to do, or like what's the number one thing that bothers you about solo ads, or what's number one thing that's preventing you from making money online with solo ads, is always like, I don't know where to get started. Like, I need you to tell me, what do I need to do, the first thing I need to do. And so that is why in this episode, I wanted to focus on that one thing that allows everything else to exist. Okay, that one thing that puts a start to your journey, to your successful journey into internet marketing. Because everybody's already on their journey into internet marketing. They're just frustrated and struggling. They're jumping from one product to another. They're trying methods, right? And nothing's working. Now, the reason that is happening, okay, is because they don't have an offer. Because the offer is the number one, it's the fundamental, it's the cornerstone of your business. Until you have an offer, you have nothing. You have absolutely nothing. Like, you can even have a product, but unless you have an offer, you can't really sell it. So that is why you often see people launching offers and creating products later. Have you seen any of those, Jonathan?
Yeah, I thought that was the norm. So wait. I gotta ask on behalf of the list builders. This is episode number 175. Why are you telling us how to start now?
Honestly, because I had no idea. I had no idea that was the number one cause until I started working on the guide. And the more I worked, the more people I spoke to, the more obvious it became that it's not about how to write the perfect swipe. It's not about even like where to get the ideal clicks. It's not about, what's the tracking software to use, right? Those are just details. They're really little details. What this is about for most people is like, what is like the first thing that I need to do? Because they're looking at this giant puzzle and the pieces are all like messed up. And they don't know how to get started. They don't know the first thing they need to do. And the offer is that. Like, the moment I created my own offer, or the moment I should say, wow, that's an incredibly annoying noise. The moment, the coffee shop is just packed today. It's incredible. It's never packed. There's barely any people ever. And today there's a big celebration going on. There's lots of people with laptops, kind of modeling me or maybe mocking me or something. I don't know. Anyway, the first thing that allowed me to truly start making money, like the first thing that put me on the map, was an offer that converted, an offer that matched with the audience I had access to, an offer that I could promote every single day. Making offers, in fact, making offers is one of the activities you have to be doing daily, no matter how many products you're selling right now. I see a lot of people having a great offer, having a great product, but they don't even tell people about it. They don't mention it anywhere, right? They just kind of assume people will find it. Like they'll send people to their blog that has no mention of it whatsoever. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's that thing where it's the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. People just think like, oh, my product's the best in the world. People are just gonna find it. Not if you don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, they won't find it. Not today. I mean, look at the competition. Look at the look at the intensity of the competition you're facing. Like whatever you're selling, there's at least 100 people out there selling the exact same thing. So if you just put up a sign that says, I got something, you can buy it here, it's never going to happen because it's no longer the question on the prospect's mind. We used to be in the economy, and when it comes to the internet marketing space, right, it's probably about 15 years ago. You just figured out what the problem they were facing, and you said, okay, I got this thing that solves this problem. And that's pretty much it. That's all you've done. But today, it's not enough because you've got this thing that solves the problem, but you've got at least a good, I mean, maybe not 100, but at least a good dozen people out there selling the exact same thing, making the exact same claims, having social proof, with a gorgeous looking website, with a VSL and everything, hitting on the exact same pain points, doing the exact same thing. And it's really not that simple to come in and just say, hey, I got this whiz bang thing over here. You can buy it. And people just don't, they won't even hear your message because of all the noise.
Yeah, it reminds me of Eugene Schwartz. I'm sure you've read it because Ben talks about it all the time, but the levels of sophistication, market awareness, where are they? And before, like you said, it was just like, get leads. This is how. And now it's get leads through this extraordinary system that sifts and sorts and pumps them up. Actually, that's your system. But yeah, it can't just be get leads anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I'm like when I was choosing the person to work with when it came to podcasting, right? Let's face it, Jonathan, you have competitors. You have competitors, some cheaper than you, some pricier than you, some offer like a bigger bundle of stuff, some offer a smaller bundle of stuff. But I went with you, and the question in my mind was not, do I do podcasting? I kind of stepped over that edge and I was sold on the concept. But, I needed to work with somebody I knew that would be reliable, that would show up on time, would keep me on my schedule and my toes as far as like getting the content published regularly. And all that stuff, I had to get referrals, and I reached out to you because you worked with Doberman Dan, with Ben Settle, and a bunch of other people. So reaching out to you, my level of buyer awareness was really, really high. But again, like the questions I was asking were really, really like high quality questions that any consumer asks about anything these days. Like you can't even go and buy diaper wipes these days without kind of checking is there alcohol in them, is there maybe there's some cinnamon flavor to them. You're kind of like going crazy making like now there's the diaper wipes for the ones that you can flush in the toilet and the ones you can't flush in the toilet and the ones you can throw into garbage and the ones you recycle. Like there's just so many levels of sophistication that we're addressing when it comes to our consumer habits that the whole philosophy of I'm going to create the perfect product and people will just buy it because it's a perfect product. It just doesn't work. And but kind of to bring this around to the whole concept of making offers, the amount of offers you're making, actually it's the other way around. The amount of money you're making is directly proportional to the amount of offers you're making. That's not a reason why I always say that you should mail every day, even twice a day or 3 times a day. Because unless you're mailing every day, and unless you're kind of hammering that home constantly, and even, you're taking one product, but you're making several offers around it, which is what I've been doing recently, kind of taking one core product, but then positioning it in several different ways, right? And if they didn't buy from this angle, I'll come in from this angle, and then I come in from this angle until something happens. Trust me, Jonathan, the results have been incredible. we've seen as much as 20% increase in conversions
Wow.
by simply having the same thing packaged in many different ways, which is, I mean, essentially that's exactly what happens in our marketplace, but nobody's actually talking about it, right? They sell the exact same courses, but through different media. Like Annex and Gull, right? He wrote a book, and he took what was in the book, he turned it into an hour and a half webinar. Then he took it out of the webinar, put it in the members area with 15 videos or whatever, right? Same thing, Frank Kern. He comes out an 8-week webinar course. Then he takes the core of it, puts it in a small book, and he gives you the book away for free, just pay shipping and handling. Then upsell to a coaching program that's done for you or something or whatever. But it's, again, the same thing that he taught in this other webinar, only through different media with perhaps a slightly different angle. So making offers. If there's one activity that all top earners share in common, that all marketers share in common, they're making lots of offers, often to their tribe.
I want to give you credit though, right? Because you did 174 shows before this one, before you're telling people where to get started. And that's actually credit to you for saying, I know all this shit already and I'm teaching at this level, then going back to your market and realizing their problems are at a different level where you weren't thinking. So you have to go back and reframe the offer, reframe everything you're doing to where they're at so that you can work them up into where they really need to be. And so that's a lesson for anyone listening. You never stop studying your market.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was working on this guide, I've had so many epiphanies regarding the kind of stuff that stifles my market that I personally moved way past at that point, right? And so what it inspired me to do as well is to create like a mini training that's a 30-minute training where I can go into some core material regarding solo ads, and I went as far back as just basically explaining why email traffic is better than Facebook traffic, or then better than SEO traffic, and so on and so forth, right? So I did that because the level of awareness of the market is so low in spite of this strategy being around. I mean, I've been successfully selling solo ads since 2010.
Wow.
So it's at least 7 years, going on 8. And still, the market is so huge that most people are not aware of anything. And to even introduce the concept, we have to talk about first why email traffic is better than all these other traffic sources. Because, the customer, the target market, right, they're wondering about, for them, it's not about who's the best solo provider at that point. It's about, is it solo ads? Is it Facebook ads? Do I do free social media? Do I SEO? Right? So the level of awareness is so low that we have to go back and match ourselves with the market. And this is a huge lesson to anyone selling, for example, business opportunities, right? Because most people, they come in and they sell business opportunities to the crowd that supposedly understands business opportunities already. Now, that's a big mistake because most of that crowd, most of the people that are going to join you and stick with you and go all in with you, they're not the ones that are already members of several other business opportunities. They're the ones that are just coming into the game because they recognize that their job is boring, they hate their boss, or they haven't saved up enough for retirement. So if you're starting to sell or to market from the point of comparison between one opportunity to another, you're actually doing it wrong. If you're talking about the shiny object syndrome, you're doing it wrong. What you need to be talking about is how making money from your home is so much better than working on a day job. Now, that's the awareness level that market is at for you to hit those blue oceans that will allow you to make a lot of money where there's less competition and less confusion.
Wow. So let's circle back here. I think we went really deep. Like, we're supposed to be talking about how to get started with solo ads. So you said that the offer is the core of that. And then we went into market sophistication and that kind of stuff. So can we bring it back down to the lay person's level?
Yeah, right. Well, we definitely kind of went sideways, I'd say, for sure. So basically, here's the best way to explain it. I've studied the people who approached my traffic agency and to see what's common between the people who did not necessarily feel comfortable buying solo ads yet and people who felt comfortable and went in and succeeded, right? So one of the core things that stood out, there were two things. Either these people did not have an offer that they were certain about to promote. In other words, they were kind of researching different offers, and they were coming to us and they're like, I want to promote this. And we're like, yeah, it seems okay, let's do it. They're like, nah, you know what? No, let's do this instead. Or they were just disappearing because they weren't, they didn't have like this one solid offer. And the second, they may have had an offer, but they were so uncertain about that offer because either something that somebody said about it, because the opportunity itself did not match with what was originally sold to them, and they felt bad about it. I actually had a call with a client 2 weeks ago where they wanted to promote the opportunity. They invested a lot of money into it, but then they refused to do it. They switched the links before their campaign began because they felt this opportunity was no longer like, it didn't stand for what was originally sold to them for. You know what I mean? Like they got in under some premise that was no longer honored, and they just did not want to promote it. So offer is where the offer begins. Like it was where your business begins. And there's a great book by Mark Joyner called The Irresistible Offer, where Mark goes into detail about what makes a great offer, like what makes it tick. And he also goes into the buyer awareness stage. He actually shares like 10 different things about what the buyer is wondering at that point in time, allowing you to determine the layers or the levels, right, which you need to address as a marketer when you're creating your content.
All right, Igor, we're coming up on the end of this. Any closing thoughts for the list builders out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's the one thing philosophy. I think we've done an episode about it where people just looking for that one thing. And, I intentionally position the offer as the one thing. Now, realistically speaking, of course, there's more to it than just your offer. But if we really strip it down and try to simplify it as much as possible, the moment you've decided what your offer is, whether your own that you're going to create or working on right now, or an affiliate offer, meaning an offer that somebody else has created and you feel that this is really in tune with what you stand for and you really feel like this is for you and you go ahead and promote it, like that is the first step that opens up all the other steps. That is the door that opens up all the other doors for you to be able to continue and start asking questions such as, who is the best solo provider? What is the best tracking software? How do I best write my email swipe? And yada, 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 yada. So if you're at that point where you're still considering soloids, or you're still confused about soloids, maybe you understand list building, but you're not sure which traffic source to use. I assure you, even if that traffic source is not solo ads, then you still need to really invest the time, as much time as necessary, to determine your perfect offer. And only then you will be able to hit the next step in your business where you'll be able to advance and get some leads and see conversions happen and get some customers. Until that happens, nothing happens.
Bro, there's like 100 more questions I want to ask you, but we're coming up on the end of this episode. So the only question I will ask you is, what do you have for us next time?
Well, next time, the next episode is all about affiliate marketing. And specifically, that was another really common question I got when I was working on the guide was, what is the best way to promote affiliate products using soloids? Like, what's the most profitable way to do it? What's the correct way to do it? And I also recently released a program called the Ultimate Bridge Page System that focused on affiliate marketing. So it's really hot right now for me, this really hot topic. So I decided to devote the next episode to sharing the two correct ways, and of course the wrong ways, to using affiliate offers when you're doing solo ads as your primary traffic source.
All right, that should be fun. So another list building lifestyle show is in the can. We will be back in your earbuds next time. Thank you for tuning in, list builders.
Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kafetz, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.